Okay, now I'm gonna switch over to the command line and go from there. So here you see I've already prepared the command line. You started with java minus this plugin skeleton generator via java minus jar rhq blah 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 dot jar. We'll do that now. And it will now ask for the plugin for the resource category that we want to use. Usually you only want to use server and service, but I've just added the platform for completeness sake here. So I answer S for the server. Then we want to have it give our plugin a name. Let's name it demo. Package prefix org.rhq. File system root, I'm putting that under JBB demo. Component class, demo component. This demo discovery for the discovery class. And now we get a lot of yes/no questions about which facet and other features do we want to support here. So we don't want to do events here, only doing monitoring for this very simple demo. So I just press return for those default answers. Description, this is a demo. Parent type we don't have. Do we want monitoring? Yes. Operations, no. Singleton, no. 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 This uses external jars in plugin means if you want to use external libraries, we make it easier in the POM file. We add some code in the POM file to pull that into your plugin. And if you don't want to use it like we do, just answer no. Delete children, no. No. Depends on JMX plugin. We have a generic JMX plugin that allows you to remotely connect to JMX resources like any Java 5 server or JBoss AS or whatever, and you can just use that for free when you need it. We don't need it here in our simple case, of course. RHQ version 1.3.0.ga we use. Do we want to have a child resource? No, we don't want that in the simple case. So I answer no. The generator is now generating the code, and we can go to the file system browser, and you see here that all the artifacts are generated. The directory that the plugin lives in, the POM file, and within the source file main Java, so the Maven's file system structure basically, with here in the resources, meta-inf, the deployment descriptor. And we will have a look at it in a second, but I will switch to my IDE now that we can load the project in. And this will take a little time until it's loaded, so I can come back and have the IDE work in the background. So I just go to the POM file and open that. And the IDE will then do the magic in the background. Let's switch back here. So I'm going to open this plugin descriptor. So you see in the plugin descriptor, we have the plugin tag. It's all filled in. Then we have our server named demo with the discovery and component class filled in. We have some empty plugin configuration tag that allows you to specify connection properties. So when your resource needs things like username, password to be set up, you would put that in here for the metadata so that it shows up in the UI for the user to enter those things. And then we have our metric called dummy metric that we want to monitor. So this is stubbed out. And I will just change a little bit of that so that it is more descriptive later on. As in the cooking shows, I have already prepared a little bit of that. So we'll just copy that over for a second. So I can already go Maven install and see that this is compiling out of the box, what we have just done. So I'm opening the project. Here within org.rhq.demo, we have now our two classes. Let's first look at the discovery class, because that's also the guy that's called first, sort of. So here, it's already completely stubbed out. You have Demo discovery implements resource discovery component. You have this discover resources method already there. And what you need to do is now fill in the stuff down here. You need to create a discovered resource details with all the necessary data and basically return it to the caller. I've already prepared something. So let me paste that in. So here I'm creating a new detail. First parameter is always the resource type that this resource belongs to. Then we need to have a resource key. That's something that needs to be unique for this plugin and which needs to stay unique. That's extremely important. So you should never use, for example, the process ID as a resource key, because when you restart your process, it will likely get a different ID, and this is a completely new resource to RHQ then. So then a resource name, we just name it demo here. You can pass a resource version, but we just return null, that's okay. A description that is shown in the UI. Some plugin configuration, that was this thing about connecting these properties to initially connect to the resource. We don't need them here. And then at last, a process info thing. So we can have process scans on your process table. And this information you just need to re-identify the process later. So we're already done now writing our discovery class. Let's switch to the component class now. In a resource component, you have always 3 methods that you need to implement. The first is the get availability. This is used by RHQ to determine if your resource is up or down. In our simple case, we just return up. This is completely valid, perhaps not useful, but valid, so we leave it at that. The second thing is the start method. That is sort of like a constructor for normal Java objects. And the system injects the connection properties into the start method so that you can initialize your plugin. The last method is stop, where you can tear down stuff, close connections or whatever. In many plugins, this method will not be modified and just be kept as is. And as we also have implemented the measurement facet for monitoring, we will modify the getValues method later on.